Internally, it was supposed to be called 586, but there was always a conflict that numbers cannot be copyrighted, but names can be. And so what we did was we said, let's just copyright a name. And Pentium sounded like Punch or 5 as we know, right? So that's how the name came about.
I dedicate this award to the countless volunteers whose service lights the path forward for better humanity.
We have Vinod Dham at the Home of the Hope Gala right here with us. As you all know, he is the father of the Pentium Chip, known for his contribution to the development of Intel's Pentium microprocessor, and Indian American who has helped shape America, a 2025 Padma Bhushan awardee, which is India's third highest civilian award. And he is also the co-inventor of Intel's first flash memory technology, eTox. Welcome to YoIndiaTV with me, Jasleen. It's an absolute honor and a pleasure to be speaking with you. First of all, let me ask you, how's the feel this evening?
This feels good. I mean, I feel humbled and honored to be here and recognized for, the award that I got.
So, yeah, it's a 2025, so it's the brand new award you got. You know, you've been getting awards since so many decades. Give us something into like how it all happened,
I am honestly not aware of how this happened, but I do know that just around 2000, after doing Intel, Pentium at Intel, then I did two startups, Next Gen that was bought by AMD, and then there was a startup called Silicon Spice that was bought by Broadcom. I reached a point in my life where I felt, what have I done for the country that gave me the basic foundation that led me to accomplish so much in life? That's India. So that thought finally translated into first doing venture capital in India. So I was one of the handful of people who pioneered venture capital in startup world in India. Today, India is the third largest country in the world. And after that, I'm a semiconductor engineer, that is people who build chips, semiconductor chips. And I felt like India was very much behind there. It was very strategic and important thing for India to be in semiconductors for military and national security reasons. So I started talking to a variety of different government officials and presenting to them my vision of what India should do. And fortunately, they bought into it. And Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, who's a visionary himself, actually allocated $30 billion in the first tranche, $30 billion to semiconductor programs of a variety of different kinds. And I understand they're going to put twice as much in the coming years. I'm really glad all of that is happening. And I guess I would assume for my contributions both to the industry and what I've done for my country is why I was given the award.
Wonderful. And in 1993, you were named one of the top 25 executives in the US computer industry. In 1999, you were named one of the top 100 most influential Asian Americans of the decade. In 2000, you were appointed to serve on the President's Advisory Commission on Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders by President Bill Clinton. And then you have your whole success story from Pentium 386, 486 and 586 microprocessors, 586 actually being called Pentium. So give me a little more about your serving on President Bill Clinton's committee, and then how did you land into this 586 and why was it named Pentium after all?
Okay, let's go in reverse. I think you've done your homework very well. My gosh, you're reminding me of all my past So Pentium actually was internally called P5, which stood for Processor 5, which was a natural number after the 486, which was the Processor 4. And it wasn't till almost when we launched it that we did even come up with a brand new name. And internally, it was supposed to be called 586. But there was always a conflict, that is, the names cannot be copyrighted, but numbers cannot be copyrighted, but names can be. And so what was happening was we had a competitor called AMD who would also come up with the same chips that we were building.
Who you later joined hands with?
Yes. I was.
That would be my next question. Why you did that?
I will give you the insight on that and how that came about. And so what we did was we said, let's just copyright a name. And Pentium sounded like Punch or 5 as we know, right? So that's how the name came about. Not that I had anything to do with it. There was a whole team of people who came up with the name. In fact, I didn't even vote for that name. I was quite nerdy. I was one of the 10 or 12 people.
What name did you vote?
I had I think there were 3 options, and one name that I had picked was Intellect 5 because it had Intel, it has Tech and Elect and 5. So I kind of picked that, but it got voted down because that wasn't the majority. Majority was people from sales, marketing, and top executives from, CMO and all that. They picked Pentium. I wasn't happy with it, but now looking back, I'm very happy that that's what was picked. So that's one thing. And you talked about how did I get involved with the advisory with Bill Clinton. I think Bill Clinton he went to India. And for some reason, he knew about, my contributions. And when he went to India, in his speech to India's parliament, he said, among us 3 names, myself and a guy named Deepak Chopra. And I think there was one more name I'm forgetting, maybe Vinod Khosla or somebody else. And he said, you people are tech savvy in India. We also have tech savvy people. And he named me. And of course, that went viral in Indian press. And that finally led me to be part of the advice committee, and I really enjoyed that and got to visit White House and got to really be part of some very important functions there.
And I think the first Indian to have achieved that status. We have the second one now in the Bay Area, who used to be in the in Biden's cabinet, but I think you were the first one.
Political position. It wasn't an official position. This was more of a invited, appointed position. So I don't want really to play it up.
I'm aware.
Anywhere close to all these wonderful people who are really top guys. So I was nowhere there.
But you were still there. You were not elected, but you were appointed, and you were there. So that's amazing. And I wanted to ask you, why you joined hands with your rival, and you had that killer Pentium, or did you name that, by the way?
No, I didn't name a Pentium. I told you
the killer.
Oh, the killer Pentium. I don't think I said color. Maybe somebody called the killer Pentium. Maybe I did. But anyway, what happened was after finishing Pentium, I was really at a intersection in my life, at an inflection point in my life, and I was trying to wonder, what do I want to do next? One path was obvious. I could have stayed at Intel and spent the rest of my life at Intel. There was no question about that. But if you're in the Silicon Valley, every day companies go public here. You pick up the local newspaper called San Jose Mercury. There are headlines about this company acquiring them, this company going public. So you are really bitten by this startup idea, which was always in back of my mind. But I was not very clear on what idea I want to pursue, what a startup is, how is money raised, or anything about it. So what I did was I took a baby step. I joined an existing startup that was called NextGen. Actually, it was a very old startup. It was a 9-year-old startup. They were building chips similar to Intel's. So I thought that would be safe. I know what to do. And that's how my journey into NextGen came. And then NextGen got acquired by AMD. That's how I ended up in AMD. Not that it was my choice. And a very little known fact is, AMD, when they found out that I actually had no reason to be there, because it turned out all of my stock options that I had in NextGen got accelerated instantly as the company got acquired. There was a clause in it that if the company gets acquired, you will become owner of everything you have. And I was only there for less than a year. And so there was no reason for me to go to AMD. But to make sure that the deal happens and everybody is successful. I did stay with them, and they asked me to stay for 1 year. That was a commitment. If I stayed there for just 1 year, and then I left and did Silicon Spice.
So this is one example of, like, if you are talented, miracles keep happening in your life. That was one miracle. And second, when Broadcom acquired the
And that
your
wasn't a
company,
miracle. That was a lot of
effort, lot of hard, 1.2 billion,
crisis, I mean, the dot bomb was happening, and there was a significant amount of pressure to really have that company get acquired. So I'm glad that happened just in time, and we came across very big winners. We were a unicorn before the word unicorn really became popular. So I'm very proud that I did a semiconductor, and unicorns in semiconductor are not that often. It's mostly in software. So no, I feel very fortunate to have had a journey in my life, some hard work and some talent and some good luck. So I say, if you don't have the third one, I call it the X factor, then that's not good.
So, you were just talking about you wanted to be a part of a big startup, and then you really made it. जिसको हिंदी में कहते हैं कि मटका जो है बहुत कम लोगों का लगता है, और उसमें से you were one of the lucky few जिनका मटका लगा. So what do you do with that 1.2 billion and all the other billions that you have minted as a venture capitalist?
I haven't minted billions in venture capitalists, neither did I. When you are a CEO of a startup, if a startup sells for $1 billion, you only get a very small, tiny fraction of that. So let there be no confusion about that aspect of my life. But I think I live a comfortable life, let's put it this way, and I'm able to pursue my interests and do what I want and not have to really worry a lot.
Where in Silicon Valley are exactly you located?
So right now I'm located in Fremont and on the verge of moving to Menlo Park because my younger son lives in Atherton. He is a venture capitalist, and my older son just recently, about 2 months ago, moved from Fremont to Menlo Park. So since both of my sons and my grandkids especially are there, naturally we have to move close to them. So that's where we are heading.
And after having all this success, what is the definition of success that you see it as now? How has the success evolved for you?
I think success for me is really about, everybody goes to good colleges, gets degree in engineering, and some colleges may be more branded than the other colleges, and everybody is hardworking, everybody is smart. I think there is beyond the X factor of luck, there's another factor. I call it a D factor. And the D factor is a drive. Relentless drive to make things happen.
And you did your research because you changed the product line into the voice over internet protocol, the VoIP, when the company was doing something else, and you assessed that that in the market it wasn't flying.
She's really done the homework. My gosh. Actually, Silicon Spice original idea was dead on arrival. And I basically had raised significant amount of money already with that idea, which was being pursued. By the time I came on board, there were maybe half a dozen people there already. And so I had two choices, either to return the money that I had taken from the investors or do something with it, right? So I thought, I just went to the board and I said, look, the idea is dead. And one of the board members happened to be an investor from Cisco. And he said, hold on, you guys are highly talented team, ex-Intel people, you know how to design chips. We have a chip that needs to be designed, and we need a team to design that. Would you be willing to design that chip? Really, that was the birth of Silicon Spice that succeeded at the end for 1.2 billion. Thanks to Cisco, who literally showed me what product to build, which we did. And they even showed me the way to who to sell the company to, which we did because they were a great partner with Broadcom. And they used to buy chips only from Broadcom. And when the time came, our chips was working, and I went to them to say, please place an order. They said, no, we won't place an order with you. We are too small. And I said, my gosh, you told me to build the chip. You won't place the order for me? They said, well, we'll place it if you work with somebody like them. And then the marriage happened.
Wow, amazing. So, with the evolving AI, and some of the people are scared, others do not want to agree that they are scared, and they said, we will make AI work for us. and the market is not yet ready. People are confused. There are so many courses, but AI has not evolved, and nobody is sure how to handle the hallucinogenic effect of AI, which is really poor. They can make up things which never existed and nobody imagined, but AI can imagine. So it's beyond artificial intelligence. I would say if they can quote a story which no one can think of, then that is something really beyond words. So what's your take on the AI in the current scenario, and how have you invested as a venture capitalist into AI related ventures?
Okay, first and foremost, to clarify, I'm not a venture capitalist anymore, like an active venture capitalist. I do invest as an angel, and I do invest a lot of my
Just
time.
angel investor?
Angel investor, and invest a lot of my time in things that I'm interested in, including AI. So having said that, I think AI, you're too young to know this, but when I was growing up, the cricket matches in India used to be 5-day long. So we are in the first inning of the first day of the match in AI, is how I'll describe it. So when you're in the first day, you can't predict what's going to happen at the end of the 5th day and who's going to win the race or not. But it's pretty clear from what, Gen AI and a lot of the technologies that have come in the last couple of 3 years, that clearly there is a winning technology here. Now, will it really become AGI and super intelligent and take over humans intelligent, and one day we'll all sit in a corner and machines will do the job? I'm not necessarily a believer in that. But would it really productively increase the productivity of what we do by a factor of 5-10x? I think that will happen. But it'll take some time. In the meanwhile, there'll be a lot of confusion, sometimes setbacks, sometimes people will stop believing in it. But that's the way technology is. Initially, only early adopters believe in it, and rest of the people are always questioning it.
Nice. So last but not the least, since we are at the Home of the Hope Gala, what's your message to all the viewers about contributing to the great cause that Home of the Hope Gala does? The underprivileged children that Home of the Hope as a non-profit wants to support, and overall, as a techie, as an entrepreneur, and as someone who has made Indians and Americans proud, what's your message?
Well, my message is, by the way, I've been involved with Home of Hope for a very long time, and especially my wife was actually on one of the volunteers participating in the team with Nilima. And so we have known this for a very long time, and we are very proud of what Nilima has accomplished, and the team of both the mentors and volunteers who have really contributed endless time, energy, and love for bringing it to the point it is, greatly successful. I think my message on Home of Hope is to all the people who will be in the audience today to really look within themselves and find a part of them in whatever ways they can. Not everybody can contribute in the poverty eradication or the issues that Home of Hope is. Even if you want to do it in a different way, please dedicate it some time to make that happen. To me, that will be the call to action, that service for somebody other than you. This is really a principle of Gurmukhs. If you look at the Sikh religion, Seva is a very significant part of it. You go to any Gurdwara anywhere in the world, any time of the day, you will always find somebody doing Seva to provide you food, as a langar they call it. I think that's the basic principle. We need to have that spread, not just in a small section of society, but across. So that will be my message.
And as a techie?
I'm sorry?
As a techie,
I don't know. I don't have any particular thing to say about a techie. I think techie or non-techie, everybody needs to dedicate themselves to service for humanity, for mankind, in whatever ways they are passionate about.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It
you.
was really an eye-opening conversation. I learned a lot from you, and I hope so did you. So let's keep up the great work that Home of the Hope is doing, and let's congratulate Vinod ji one more time. So Vinod Dham, you really rock. You've really made us proud.
Thank you.
And I can't thank you enough for your contributions to the society.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Let us remember, when we commit ourselves to something larger than our own interest, whether through compassion or through innovation, we create legacies that endure. True success is not measured by what we achieve ourselves, but how we serve a greater purpose. Thank again. I am truly humbled by this recognition, and I call upon each and every one of you to devote some part of your life to sacrifice towards selfish service. For in serving others, we keep hope alive, and in keeping hope alive, we make world better for generations to come. Thank you.